Oh, what is the upskis, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GXGamerCast. We're on episode 131 of my little gaming show where once a week I just has to talk about video games. Whether they're new video games that I'm playing today, old video games that I grew up with, it doesn't matter. Video games. And today is a sporadic episode. I just came up with this one last night because I had myself a little cry. A little manly cry, if you will. A video game made me cry. Yell at me. Oh, well. It happens sometimes, you know. And that game was Tale of Arise. We'll talk about Tale of Arise in a moment. But before we get into the topic of today's episode, which is games that hit you in the feels. Rather, they make you cry, they make you emotional, they make you happy. It doesn't matter. It's Valentine's Day, so emotions are in the air. Let's talk about emotions. But before we get into emotional talks and all that greatness, let's talk about what I've been up to over the last week or so. And oh, buddy, missions accomplished this week. A very productive week, I must say, for myself. All right, so in terms of witnessing, I completed my mission of watching Attack on Titan. And oh my goodness, was it ever phenomenal. It may be, I haven't rewatched some of my old classic animes in a long time, but I feel safe to say Attack on Titan, my favorite anime of all time. Of all time. It was phenomenal. Absolutely ridiculous. Like I was talking about last week where season 4 kind of dragged on a little bit. It is a 28 episode season, plus there are two finales which are 60 and 80 minutes, so that's another 5 or 6 episodes, right? So there was a 5 episode period where it kind of let's call it the Dragon Ball Z Spirit Bomb episodes, where you're just waiting and waiting for the inevitable thing to happen, but we're building out some things. And that was my only drawback with season 4 was all right, we're very miserable. I'm very understanding of that. It's a very miserable time in the show, but I was like, holy crap, let's move it on. But that completely was worth it when I watched the final 2 episodes plus the 2 big finale episodes as well. Some of the best I have just ever seen, bro. The rumbling in Attack on Titan is just fucking terrifying. So cool. Everything about Attack on Titan is so cool. The way that they fight, the Titan airstrike moment. Holy fuck, man. They're just dropping Titans out of the sky. So many jaw-dropping moments. There was the particular fight scene that I watched a few times, even showed my wife it. Mikasa at the last episode, second to last episode, they're getting onto the boat and Mikasa just going fucking crazy, killing everything. The music is going insane. There is blood raining down. It is just, so fucking good, bro. And, the situation with Eren Yeager, the main character, and his saga throughout the show, maybe not the greatest reasonings for why he did what he ended up doing, but man, what a fucking show. What an unbelievable time that was. And I squeezed it in, I had an hour left of my free trial on Crunchyroll. So it was an experience. It was incredible. That was easily a 9.5 for the final season, the finale of Attack on Titan. And finally got it done. I watched the first season of Attack on Titan the year it came out on Netflix, I think 2015, 2016 maybe, and yeah, I finally finished it, and holy fuck, if you're an anime fan, you haven't watched it, get on that right now. Oh my goodness, incredible show. Definitely, but it is a mature show, so, don't watch it if you're young, I don't care. Watch it. Just watch it. It's unbelievable. Attack on Titan, so freaking good. All right. Still watching the Challenge 40 with my wife. It is an awesome season of the Challenge. It's just the all-stars, the best of the best of each era. And, yep, we're just dwindling down. I just got through the mini-final, and that was a good one, too. Big names are going down, but there's still some big names in there, so I'm enjoying the Challenge. And since I'm done with Attack on Titan, I'm allowed to watch other things now. So I watched a movie last night, literally just because I saw a commercial for the 50th anniversary for Saturday Night Live. I was like, oh, neat. And I had a movie on my list called Saturday Night, which is all about the first night of Saturday Night Live. The first, just the chaotic upcoming, just the day of, the hours leading up to their very first live show. And it was fucking good, man. It was a banger movie. Relentless pace to it. Like, the pacing, like, was just nonstop. It's absolutely encapsulating the madness, I imagine, what is behind TV production, live TV production. And yeah, man, this was dope. I loved the cast. There was the people that, I don't have their names, but they had like Chevy Chase. I love that guy. He was great. The dude that was Langley or something, whatever his character was, he's the creator of it. His freaking actor was awesome. Andy Kaufman was in that shit. Like, oh man, I love this kind of stuff. I love the behind the scenes, how it's made. I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, this movie spoke to me, and yeah, I was just looking for something to watch last night. I was like, oh, that's perfect, and it was a banger, man. It was really good, really fun, chaotic, and yeah, man, 8.5. That was a damn fine movie right there. I watched that on Crave or HBO Max or whatever the hell it's called, but yeah, that was good, and definitely goes with the, honestly, I haven't watched Saturday Night Live ever once. I've seen numerous sketches on YouTube and stuff like that, but I've never watched an episode of Saturday Night Live. So I don't know if I ever will. Like, I saw that 50th anniversary thing. Like, yeah, there's a lot of big names going there. Oh, back to the movie. The John Belushi character, that was really cool. Dan Aykroyd. Who the fuck else was in there? Oh man, there was a really fun little kind of side thing going on with Billy Crystal and the lady that he was with, and the whole time they got this board up of how the show is going to go. Like, they have the whole thing. All right, we got commercial break here. This guy's going out. We got this sketch, that sketch. And the whole time, Billy Crystal's like, oh, they're not going to have enough time. We're going to have to figure this out. All right, we're going to draw the line at 4 minutes. And then at the end, they're just like, 2 minutes, take it or leave it. And he's like, oh, I'm not going to take that. And the girl's like, I'll take it. Anyway, try not to spoil too much of the movie. It was wicked. It was a damn fine movie. 8.5. Fun. And in terms of video games, let's talk some video games. So I'm playing some Pac-Man Championship. It's Pac-Man. It's fantastic. Great time. Love playing that while I'm watching a little bit of the challenge. And just got into playing Sifu. Oh yeah, baby. Literally just finished playing it for my first little time here. Put in like an hour and a half. Got through the first level and went back through the first level because it did so bad on the first level. Did it better. And yeah, I'm in. I'm liking it. The combat is challenging, but I'm not like overwhelmed just yet. But I'm like, okay, I can see it's going to be tricky. And yeah, basically just I've always had Sifu on my list. But a friend of mine at work just recently beat it. He's been talking it up. I'm like, oh yeah, bro, it's next on the list. I will tackle it. And here we are. We're playing some Sifu. And it's damn fine, man. I'm very excited for this movie that's coming out from the John Wick people. And yeah, it's good. It's a really cool concept. Like, it's a beat 'em up game, but whenever you get beaten, you age. So you start out at 20 years old. I got beaten, now I'm 21, and then it goes to like 24. By the end of the first level, I was 72 years old. That's the maximum you can get. So I got my ass beaten up quite a bit in the first level, ended up being 72 years old, got into the second level, and I'm still 72 years old. I'm like, oh shit. So I had to go back to the first level, do it better. Now I got through it. I'm like 27 years old. So, all right, I see what the game wants me to do. I got to get and beat like the 4 main dudes and then beat the final dude. Hell yeah, I like it, man. Really liking Sifu so far. And now, so here's the couple of games that spurred this list. So Tales of Arise. Tales of Arise was my other mission I had, and I accomplished. I've beaten Tales of Arise, and it made me cry. It made me have a nice, happy cry. It was a beautiful story, man. It was a beautiful story. I'll just take a little sidebar here, a little quick review on this game. Definitely a surprise. I did not expect this game to hit me the way that it did, obviously, drawing out some emotions in me like that. I didn't expect the story to draw me in that much, but it's especially right now, even though it is leaving Game Pass and PlayStation. If you have this game by chance and you haven't played it yet, it's a great game for February Valentine's Day, because there's a great love story here. And at the end of the game, it just got me, bro. Like, the thing happened, and I was just like, oh, that's so fucking sweet. And yeah, man, I had myself a nice little happy cry. The music's going. I'm like, yeah, this is, and it just made me go like, man, this is fucking video games, man. This is what we're looking, you get so invested. It brings out the emotions, and yeah, this is going to be a great memory for me. And this surprise game that I didn't know anything about, just took a chance on, and yeah, I had a beautiful moment with Tales of Arise. So it's a great action RPG. Doesn't really do anything different. It's not changing the formula of a JRPG. It's very similar to Final Fantasy VII Remake in terms of its battle system. It's very action oriented, not turn-based at all. So it's quite flashy. It's a lot of fun. It's a little bit repetitive. The final area was a grind. It was like 2 hours, a 2-hour long dungeon, like way longer than any dungeon in the game. And other than that, the game flowed great. Story was wicked. It's generic. It's not like a fucking, oh my goodness. It's literally your like slaves uprising, and there's a great love story attached to it as well. Good cast of characters. I'm not going to go out there and be like they're the best, but they did their job. Like, there's no one that really stood out as amazing. It's Alphen and Shion's story, and their great friendship and friend support, all that great stuff. Good cast of characters. Music, phenomenal. I will be using the music from Tales of Arise for this episode. That intro music that I put, that's the battle theme. Oh my, every time I booted up that PlayStation, I heard that, and I was just like, oh. And the opening to the game is amazing. This big fucking anime music video thing. So good. Great art style. Combat's good. Story's fucking wicked. Yeah, man, this is an 8.5 out of 10 for Tales of Arise. Very pleasantly surprised with this one. If you have the time, and I got through it in about 46 hours. Didn't really do a lot of the side mission stuff. Obviously, I'm a little time constrained to get it done. I did get it done well before I thought I would, which is good. But, yeah, man, it's not like, there wasn't really any of the side missions that drew me in. There was like a lot of, like, oh, go hunt this big monster, but I wasn't powerful enough. And I will say the game was a little bit tricky. I had to turn it down to the story level difficulty because I was just getting beaten a lot by the bosses, especially. And I was like, all right, well, I don't have time to battle the bosses over and over and over again. So I just, story mode, boom, had a great time. 8.5 out of 10. Really fucking great game, well done. And maybe someday I will. Now the Tales series has my attention now, which sucks, is because they're getting rid of all those Tales games off the PlayStation Network. So Tales of Symphonia, there's Tales of a bunch of Tales stuff. So anyway, if you're interested, Tales of Arise, fuck yeah. And I knocked another one off my backlog list and squeezed this one in just to kind of add to the theme of this list, because I hear this game it can draw out the emotions as well. And I've never actually played this game until last night. I beat Journey. There it is. I finally beat Journey. I stunned at myself that it was actually, I did a episode of my gaming shames, and I believe not playing Journey was one of them, because like it's like a PlayStation staple. Like, that is like, everyone who has a PlayStation's freaking played Journey, right? Everyone talked about Journey. I just remember I didn't want to pay for it, and I've owned it for free for a long time. Eventually they released it for free, and I still didn't play it for no reason. I was like, yeah, I was just, but last night I was like, I beat Tales of Arise. I'm like, I got like an hour to kill here. What can I do? And I'm like, yo, Journey's short. Let's do up Journey. And it was short. I got it. It says I beat it in like 45 minutes. So, yeah. And I wasn't like, it was an experience. It's very difficult to review it because it's not so much a game, more or less an experience. Like, you're literally, like, my thumb was a little cramped up because all you're doing really is moving forward, but it's gorgeous. This art style is wicked. This mysterious land that you're in, and yeah, it is a very interesting story. I got right into it, man. Like, I thought about putting on a podcast, and I was like, no. I was like, let's get in there, turn the lights off, headphones on, I just got drawn in. And yeah, I can see why everyone was going nuts about Journey back then. It is a fucking really cool experience. I wouldn't say it's like a must. Like, it didn't... I would prefer like an Inside. I thought Inside was more better, and Limbo as well. It's kind of like that, but like a happy version. Like, Journey didn't make me feel depressed or anything like that. I was just like, oh, what a lovely little thing. I loved sliding down the sand. I wish there was a little more of that, but yeah, dude, what a cool little... If you got an hour, like, why not try out Journey? It was a fun little journey. It's very hard to review it. Like, I would just say great. Like, I had a great little time with it. It's an hour experience, and yeah, it was fun. It was cool. And that is it. Yes, so Tales of Arise, Journey, those are the two games that spurred this list. So let's discuss some games here that made me emotional, brought out the feels, if you will. Let's talk about this. Oh, are you ready? Are you ready to get emotional with me? Oh, baby, let's talk about it. Hey, emotions aren't always negative, you know. They're not always sad. Video games make me happy too, you know. And we're going to discuss not just games that make me sob like a baby. We will be discussing those. And there's definitely going to be some games that I don't remember crying to. Like, there's a lot of games where you just, like, I'll get to it. Like, end credits, man. Like, ooh, sometimes just the ending of a game, man, can make me very sad and or happy. But let's talk a happy emotion here. Let's start off happy. And a game that made me happy every day for, like, holy jumping. How long was I on that train for? Probably about a year and a half. And that game is Animal Crossing New Horizon. Oh my goodness, bro. COVID was a nasty time. We all know this. But there were two saviors coming to save the day during the COVID shutdown. And that was Doom Eternal and... of the fucking Animal Crossing New Horizon. I don't know why my brain just freezes every time I think about Animal Crossing. I think it's because it was so special. It was such a special moment of time. Because I got to experience Animal Crossing for the first time. I'd never played one before, and I had that decision coming towards me. I'm like, oh, do I want to do Doom, or do I want to take a chance on Animal Crossing? And thank goodness, no offense to Doom, but I played Doom 2016, didn't fully tickle that pickle. So I tried out New Horizons, and oh baby, was that ever a phenomenal decision. I will now be a lifelong Animal Crossing psycho from here on out. I put in well over 600 hours into Animal Crossings. Or is it? It doesn't matter. I played a lot of that freaking game. Even my wife put in like 300 hours into that game, and she's not like that kind of gamer, but I was impressed. I was very happy that she had a great time with the game as well. And why do we have such a great time with it? Because it is just delightful. It is downright delightful. If you don't know what Animal Crossing is, it's basically a loan payment simulator, but you get to enjoy this little island with adorable creatures on it. And that's what drew me back to Animal Crossing longer than I probably wanted to stay. I will admit, I stuck around through the first year of Animal Crossing, loved every second of it, but once we got to the cycle where we're back to, you know, oh, hey, Halloween's coming up again, and it's the same thing, that's where I was like, oh, okay, but I stuck around anyway because I loved my island, I loved my islanders, man, and I woke up every day, I'd get on that island, whether it, like, Animal Crossing isn't really a game you play for hours and hours and hours. It's a game that you play once you get in there. Like, you will have some sessions that are very long, absolutely, but eventually you just kind of get into just doing the island things. You're going around checking on the homies, checking on the island, looking for rewards, the little balloons. You're looking for maybe new items in the store that you haven't seen before. And yeah, you just kind of go through that. But I went through that cycle for a year and a half and just seeing my islanders every day. And oh man, especially when you get some of the ones that you're really looking for. Mine was, I don't remember what his little name is, but maybe his name was Stuffin, but he would always say, "Oh, Stuffins," and he was this adorable little teddy bear stitched together, and I wanted him so bad. And when he finally visited my island and I got him to join, it was just like a magical day. I remember like texting my wife and I'm like, he's here, he's on the island, and oh my goodness, he's so cute. And man, what a happy time Horizons was. Like I know not everybody's gonna look back at the dark times, the COVID era, unfondly, but man, I'm always gonna have that bright, sunny, amazing Animal Crossing New Horizon that just, man, it livened up every day for me, man. It just made me happy to wake up and see my islanders, see the new stuff. It was incredible. It was like crack cocaine, man. It was so addicting to play through that game. All right, so I discussed ending credits, and there's probably a dozen games that I got. You know, you get emotional. Now I don't cry on every single ending credit, but I always get that feeling like, oh, it's over, like, oh no. And the longer the game, the harder it is to let go of that game. And Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were probably like, those were some very like, oh, I'm so sad to leave this world. And it's not like we're saying goodbye forever or anything like that, but I get sad when an amazing experience like that is over. And like, you just played a masterpiece, and you played something that is once in a lifetime. Like, I don't know how many Breath of the Wild experiences I'm going to have. Breath of the Wild reignited my love for Nintendo. It reignited just everything in Nintendo for me. Like, Nintendo was kind of a dormant thing for me. Like, I was just kind of letting Nintendo do what Nintendo do, and I was just fine like being over here on Sony and just kind of letting them go. But hearing about this Breath of the Wild, I was like, damn, I got to get in there. And thankfully I did, because this game, if you have not experienced Breath of the Wild and stuff like that, like, come on now, get in there and play it, because this game they're amazing video games. They're amazing achievements. And if you don't feel emotion at the end of that, when that end credit hits, if you don't get goosebumps just thinking about that fucking Zelda theme hitting, and you're overlooking Hyrule, and you're just like, my goodness, I just went on one of the greatest adventures that you're ever going to have on a system. Like, I know they're video games, but fuck it. Like, shit, dude, I would take fucking playing Breath of the Wild and going on a Swiss Alps tour or something. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not much of a traveler. I'm probably saying crazy things, and I would probably really enjoy to travel in the Swiss Alps of some shit like that. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about end credits, and man, I don't know if anyone else is feeling that, but I kind of dread. Well, honestly, I got double whammied. We'll talk about Tales of Arise again, because like at the end of the game, there's like the moment, the nice, beautiful moment. Everything's great. The love story is complete. And I was just like, blah, 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 and it got me. And then it hit the end credits. And then you especially when they do the fucking like flashbacks and they're showing you scenes from the game, and you're like, oh, I remember that. And it's showing like the characters that you're just spent all this time, you know their names, and you're like, there goes Rinwell, and there's the little cute owl, and you just like, it's all over now. And I just I hate saying goodbyes. I don't like saying goodbyes, especially to a game that just makes you happy. And I love coming down and booting up Tales of Arise, and like, yeah, man, fuck. It's those end credits sometimes when that music hits. I'm also a sucker for music, I will say. Music is, I get all the type of emotions from music. If you play some metal, I get fucking like all amped up. You play some sad ass music, I'll get sad. And like, music is it just speaks to my soul. And yeah, dude, you slap nice, lovely music on top of a nice montage of the memories and the times, the experiences that we had throughout our adventures with our friends, and God, that kills me. I'm choking on my own sadness here. But damn, dude, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom especially, like, every time I think about it, I'm getting chills right now just thinking about those credits hitting and just that big big fucking musical score coming in, and you're just like, damn, dude, like, gaming is ridiculous right now. All right, we'll move on from sad ending credits to some sad story moments. So I will try to avoid any spoilers here, but we are going to be talking about Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, Mister. So Red Dead 2, I've talked about this many times, but Red Dead 2 was like, was almost its own pandemic where I work. Everyone was playing it, and we all started talking like cowboys. Like, hey there, mister! How you doing there, mister? And all. It was so much freaking fun. But, you know, hey, that brought out that's a fun emotion too. When everyone can get in on a game and everyone's having the same experiences and we're all just talking about it and we're so engrossed in the story. Like, you knew everyone was fucking loving playing like Arthur Morgan, and you're on these adventures with your horse and you're catching fish and you're going on adventures with Lenny and all them great shit, and you're just having a great. I love that too, when you and a homie are playing a game together and you come to work, you come to school, and you get to talk about like, oh bro, last night, oh dude, I did this, and like, oh what the I didn't see that. Like, that's great. I had that with Baldur's Gate. I was playing that while some other friends were playing it, and we were having these just completely different experiences. I had it with Elden Ring, where I'm like, yo, I fought this motherfucking boss, and then he was like, yo, did you fight the boss underneath this fucking tree? I'm like, what fucking tree? Then I go fight the tree boss or whatever, and I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm like, damn, dude, why'd you tell me about that boss? He's a piece of shit. But I love, you know, exchanging notes with friends at school, at work. It's not the same like it used to be. You know, now we have the internet, so you're not like maybe relying on a friend that had a Nintendo Power subscription or had the internet before internet was, you know, in everyone's household. I was late to the internet, y'all. I didn't get there till like 2006, where I was like streaming the web, you know, by myself with some form of confidence. Regardless, I love that kind of shit as well. But back to Red Dead and just a straight up soul-crushing story. There's a lot of soul-crushing stories out there, but, you know, the ending of Red Dead 1, I won't say much. If you know, you know. If you don't, get the fuck out there and play Red Dead Redemption. Like, what are you doing? It's a phenomenal experience. It's a Rockstar game, man. Like, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic video game. And, yeah, man, the ending is very emotional, very awesome. Almost, it's like way up there with, like, cinematic levels of emotion. And, you know, you're doing that final ride. You know exactly what you're doing. You're on a fucking mission and the music is playing, and then you get there and it's just like, fuck, dude. Like, sometimes you face some fucking shit in video game stories, man. And then sometimes, like in Red Dead Redemption 2, you get so attached to a character such as Arthur Morgan. I loved and love Arthur Morgan. I say loved in the past tense because I'm not playing Red Dead Redemption anymore, and I probably won't. I tried to replay Red Dead 2 again. It's not really a replayable game. It's just, for me, it wasn't anyway. For others, yeah, probably. I know that Steve Dangle guy, he replays it like every day. Anyway, but you get so attached to a character and you know where it's going. You in Red Dead, you kind of know what's gonna happen to said character eventually, and then like it's especially when it's a slow go and it's you're kind of just watching the life come out of them very, very slowly. And yeah, that shit fucking sucks. That shit is hardcore, and that's those draw out emotions. So I definitely had those emotions drawn out of me in Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. Let's talk about choices. Let's talk hard decisions. Let's talk Mass Effect. So Mass Effect, I can't say that the game really like made me cry, but I was like emotionally passionate to fucking save my people and get them through that suicide mission in Mass Effect 2. And I would not take failure as an option. I would not take one singular person dying on this mission as an option. No way. Everyone has to make it, because again, I built a bond with these characters. I went to hell with these characters, and we're on this mission, and I won't fail. I will not let them go. I will not let you die. But as some Mass Effect players know, not everyone can be saved. And there are games that make you do these decisions where not everyone can make it, and you know that, and you got to pull that trigger. And that's You know, I will admit in Mass Effect 1, it's a fucking easy one to pull because Caden sucks ace. Everyone kills Caden, so fuck that guy. It's Ashley Williams all day, but sometimes you got to make those hard decisions. And even in games like XCOM 2, where it's not necessarily an emotional decision, but I made it emotional because in XCOM 2, you can just name your soldiers whatever, and I named my soldiers after my family and friends. So I'm just like, Grandma, no, you can't die. You're my grandma. I'm not gonna just let you die. You also just happen to be my highest ranked, like, heavy, and I really, really need you, so we're just gonna reload really quick, and Grandma's back, yay! So, like, even those, like, I'm just like, I'm not losing Grandma. Fucking, Steve from fucking work, get in there, and, oh, Steve's dead. Oh, well, you know what, hey, Steve's a good guy, but he's not Grandma. So, Steve's dead, everyone, but you have those emotions in XCOM, and I get reminisced of my decisions in the game Pyre. Very underrated game. I believe I have a full review of it. I've talked about it numerous times, but in Pyre, you're deciding on, like, you have someone's fate in your hands, and do you want to better their lives, or do you want to keep them around to make your life easier? Like, those kind of decisions, it's emotional. You're just like, geez, what am I gonna do here? So, like, yeah, man, games can draw out a whole range of emotions and stuff like that. Pressure, just sadness that you're gonna lose somebody, or even, that game even brought in happiness because you know you're saving someone. You're like, you're free, be free, fly away. So that is good. Okay, let's talk about straight up sadness. Let's talk misery. Let's talk Amore. I've talked Amore before. Believe I have a full review on this game. Pretty under the radar. It is an indie game. I think it is still on Game Pass. It's a fantastic game. If you like Earthbound, you're gonna like Amore. If you want to be real sad though, or if you don't want to be really sad, maybe don't play Amore. But damn, if you want a story that is just crazy in terms of, like, the darkness, the exploration of, the darkness of human emotion. Like, I really don't want to go too far because it is a game to be experienced. It is a story that is to be experienced by a mature audience, I would say. It's definitely, like, we're talking real dark shit, y'all. Real dark shit. We're talking the suicide. We're talking murder. And all in all, it has this, like, kind of candy wrapper wrapped around it. Like, you're playing as children. You're kind of like, you got this, after school adventure, fun time kind of feel to the game. But all in all, there's this really, really dark, horrible thing lurking in the background behind that game. And once it all starts to unravel, you're just like, damn, dude, like, the darkness that it explores, wow, it takes a real dark turn, and games go there, man. Games absolutely go there. I get reminisced of Hellblade, talking about Hellblade, where that is as close, like, I do not suffer from psychosis, but the game makes you feel. That's the whole, like, design of the game, the sound design behind Hellblade. You have these voices talking in your head, and it makes you feel like you're going crazy. You're supposed to be feeling the psychosis of the character, and, like, yeah, dude, you can feel, like, the darkness taking over you at times. You are fighting with your internal demons. It's wild what we're doing with video games in terms of emotions and stuff like that, and very minimal gameplay, but damn, dude, Hellblade really goes down some dark paths there as well. So yeah, if you have not experienced Amore, man, it is a fantastic little game. Check it out. It's one of the darker stories I have ever experienced, but it's so worth it. Absolutely worth it. Let's go back to another game that kind of similar to that, hard to let go of, and that's the Persona games. 3, 4, and 5. 5 in particular, because that was my first one, and those characters I got the most attached to. I mean, fucking Joker, and I don't have all their names up, but I love those people. I loved that world. I loved the music, and it was a game that took me 150 plus hours. So that game got ingrained into me, into, like, a human system. Like, that game was a part of me for a while, and it was so hard to let go. I'm so happy that game refused to let me go, because I remember looking into it and I was like, oh, okay, it's like 80, 90 hours. That's insane. And then I got to the 100-hour mark. I'm like, oh, it's still going. 110. Oh, wow, they're still going. 120, 130, so on and so forth. And it just kept going. And I was just dreading what was to be the end. And when we got there, saying the goodbyes and oh, man, I hate that stuff. But Persona games, pretty much any long RPG would fall into that category. The ending of Final Fantasy VII, the first remake, when I got to the end of that, like, not only was it just super badass, and I'm just like, damn, dude, that's fucking sick, but it's emotional, because, like, just the fact that I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake finally, I was there, man. Like, I wasn't in the crowd that day, but I was fucking a hardcore gamer when they fucking showed off that trailer, and I was, like the rest of us, just fucking, like, waiting forever and ever and ever and giving up at points, like, this is never gonna happen, and then it finally did, and just, like, wow, just the fact that I'm experiencing that, the fact that new generations get to experience what people in 1997 were experiencing with Final Fantasy VII, definitely on a new technological level, but still, it's just having those big adventure games ending is always depressing and sad for me. I hate saying goodbye, especially to groups of characters that I freaking love. And in Persona especially, you build such great bonds with every single character. You're just learning about all the little aspects of them, man. And I just love Persona. I can't wait to get into Metaphor Refantasio or whatever the heck, but I'm in no rush to get there. There are so many games on the backlog. Let's go back. Now we're getting into the ones that I know for sure have made me cry. We're in the waterworks area. Get your ponchos, get your anti-wetness sprays, or whatever the fuck we're doing now. We're crying now. We're getting into cry levels. Let's talk Walking Dead. I almost forgot about this one. I was looking up some lists, just to make sure I'm covering my corners here and make sure I'm not missing anything. And Walking Dead, I was like, oh my goodness. I literally got, like, I was right after crying from Tales of Arise, and I started making this list, and I was like, and I started reminiscing of all the other sad times that I'm like, geez. So yeah, I was getting, like, teared up just thinking about Walking Dead again. I was like, no, Clementine and fucking, what's his name? Motherfucking Lee. My homie. Oh my goodness, bro. Fucking, that final, that final moment in Walking Dead where there is a goodbye, and it is so freaking just, it was sadder than any moment I experienced in the Walking Dead show, and yeah, arguably probably the saddest moment. Like, I didn't cry, like, I didn't bawl as bad as some other games we're going to talk about, but that might be, like, one of the saddest moments in gaming, period, bro. Like, that was such a sad moment, and the bond that you build between each other, oh my, if you have not experienced The Walking Dead, Telltale Games, holy shit, dude, like, what are you, those are must-plays, those are legitimate must-play video games. They are such a great story, and damn, dude, like, I don't want to talk spoilers, because, like, but I imagine most people have played it. I mean, that ending, bro, you know what I'm talking about. That was just breaking. Absolutely breaking. And I guess I'll talk, I don't have The Last of Us on this list. Probably mostly because, I mean, yeah, that opening, it hit me. It absolutely hit a lot of us. Took me off guard more than, like, hit me emotionally. I was just like, holy shit. I'll just do a spoiler for the opening. It's the opening of The Last of Us. They kill a child in the opening of the game. Like, Joel's daughter gets killed, and you're just like, holy shit. So the Band-Aid gets ripped off in The Last of Us very, very fast. And the end of that game as well is extremely emotional, very, very sad, and it's, like, even like The Last of Us 2 as well, very, very sad game. And it brings out, like, a lot of emotions and just, like, conversations about selfishness and all that stuff, man. Like, I got legitimately mad at, fucking, what's her name? not Abby, but Ellie. I got like mad at her at what she was doing in the second game, particularly. And yeah, man, it's a very sad game. I think everybody knows that The Last of Us, that opening, the first game, holy shit, just completely caught all of us off guard right there. So I guess I kind of have to talk about The Last of Us. Tales of Arise, obviously, that is the game that sparked this whole entire list. And that one was just like, I don't know if I've ever cried for a love story. Especially in video games. I don't know, man. Like that, I'm shocked. I am shocked. Like, it might be, you know what? I didn't look this one up, but Ichiban from Yakuza Infinite Wealth, and Like a Dragon, he is the main character. He's amazing. The character, I love him. I don't have confirmation, but I think it's the same voice actor who voiced Alphen in Tales of Arise. Regardless, he's a great emotional voice actor. He can just like so passionate about whatever it is, and in that game particularly, he's extremely passionate about saving Shion and doing whatever it takes, dealing with any pain, and it's just really so. Just a little bit of context behind the love story is Shion is like cursed with this thorns, and nobody can touch her without feeling immense pain. But Alphen just so happens to not feel pain. So he touches her and like boom, she's just like, you know, there's like an instant spark. So obviously, and then it's just like this fucking love story that builds out through the whole game. You know, you get the clash, you lose her, you get her back, and it's just like, damn, dude, like I was shocked. I'm very fucking impressed with Tales of Arise. That's why, like, I gotta butter it up, man. Like, especially for Valentine's Day, like, damn, I did not expect that story to hit me the way that it did. It was just very delightful. Like, it wasn't sad. I was just very happy that it all worked out for Mr. Alphen and Miss Shion. That's very good. They're going to have 8 million kids, and Bob's your uncle. But that most certainly is the most recent game that made me cry, because that was last night. I'm a big baby. All right, let's move on to some of the heaviest. These are Sobfest right now. Now we're in Sobfest territory. Let's talk Heavy Rain. Now, Heavy Rain I didn't cry for the reasons you might think of. I played the game, got through it, and didn't cry. I was definitely like, you know, hit with that plot twist. I'm bad at that. I just let the game take me. I don't try and figure it out on my own. I let the story take me there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just along for the ride. And when we got there, I was like, damn, that shit was crazy. Even though some shit didn't make sense, you know, anyway, we're not going to go down there. I might have I think I've done a Heavy Rain episode, so you can go listen to that one. Regardless, Heavy Rain was my first Let's Play on YouTube. And I've told this story many a time, but I was just super inspired to be a Let's Player on YouTube. It was a very popular thing at the time. Like, fuck, when did I start doing that? 2010? Something like that around there. And there were some big YouTubers at the time, and the biggest ones in gaming were Let's Players, so I was trying to get on that train. And Heavy Rain was my first one, and it was a huge hit for myself in terms of YouTube numbers. Like, I for considering like it being my first Let's Play, it did very well. I was very shocked, and yeah, man, I was able to create a lot of great bonds with fellow YouTubers, subscribers that enjoyed my content. I was shocked by this, and yeah, man, I would have daily conversations with people. They would leave comments on my videos. They would giggle and bring up moments that made them laugh, which would make me laugh. And just like, yeah, dude, it was an incredible experience. And then when I got to the end of my first Let's Play, I just got very emotional when I got to the end, the last episode. I was like, oh, I got to do something special. I'm a huge Avenged Sevenfold fan, so I was like, let's find a super sad song. And I put the Warmness on a Soul or some song like that. I put that over top of the ending credits. The video is still on my YouTube channel. It's the final episode of the Heavy Rain Let's Play, and I'm talking over it, and I'm choking down cries, because while I was doing that episode, I was just like bawling, bro. I was bawling like a baby, man. It was ridiculous, because just listening to that song over top of the end credits and those damn cutscenes, you know, those flashbacks, all the moments. I'm like, oh, there's Madison, and she's dancing like a stripper on a pole. Like, oh, the memories, the times, choking on my own sadness over here. But seriously, I was an emotional wreck filming or doing that episode. It was ridiculous, but that's just how emotionally attached I got to just putting up those videos. And that particular Let's Play, I was doing like post commentary. I wasn't in a live commentary yet. I was still very new, and so I had time to like come up with things and jokes, and like, yeah, man, I put a lot of work into that. And I put it was kind of a trophy guide. I was also telling you how to get all the trophies in that particular Let's Play. It was awesome. I had a blast. I loved Let's Plays. I loved doing it. It was a ton of fun. It's a lot of work for one person, especially the older you get, the more responsibilities get stacked onto you, and the less time you have for that kind of stuff. So I would love to still be doing Let's Plays. I was doing them like as recently as 2 years ago. I think I had some Resident Evil ones and shit like that. It's just too much work, and it just started becoming a chore, so I stopped doing it. And it is what it is. But holy fuck, man, like I'll always love Heavy Rain. It's always going to hold a special spot in my heart, even though I know not everybody loves it. It gets shat on pretty regularly, but I was there for it on day one. I remember buying it and just getting blown away by the graphics, the story. I'd never played a game, anything quite like that before, and the story was fantastic. I've played through it 4 or 5 times now, and yeah, it's always going to hold a special spot in my heart, and I sobbed like a big baby. All right, let's get to the big ones. Let's talk Metal Gear Solid. I got 2 of them, Metal Gear Solid 4 and Metal Gear Solid 3. We'll talk 4 first, because that is actually the first Metal Gear Solid game I actually defeated and beat, and it got me all the way into Metal Gear Solid and all the way into PS3 and all that shit. Anyway, but I sobbed like a baby. I don't know how many times throughout Metal Gear Solid 4. There's quite a few moments. Definitely the moment with you and, I think she's Big Boss in that game, but you and the booby woman. She's got her boobie, you know, the cleavage and the boobie. Yeah, she's got a whole bunch of that going on, but she rides a motorcycle. She's badass. She's in the 3rd game as well, and she's badass, booby lady and motorcycle and all that there too. Regardless, there is a very sad moment in I think it is during the longest cutscene of all time. It is legitimately like an hour long. But I remember that first time I experienced that cutscene, I was blown away, by the way. I was over the moon for those cutscenes. I thought they were so cool because I was watching a movie. I know that's the complaint, but I loved it. And you could skip them. You can skip them. I don't recommend it because they're amazing cutscenes, man. Incredibly emotional. And to see a badass like Snake, you know, get in, like, I don't know if he really cries or anything, but I don't know, man. There's just something about that moment under the bridge there. Oh my goodness, that broke me like an absolute baby. And then the moment where you're Snake and you're just crawling through that fucking heated vent or whatever, and it's just, oh man, what a slog that was. That part gets annoying nowadays. Like on the second playthrough, I'm like, all right, this is fucking bullshit right here. But on my first playthrough, I was so emotionally invested. I was like, come on, Snake, go. Just keep going. You can do it. You can make it, you old fuck. Just keep crawling. And he did. And it was awesome. So yeah, Metal Gear Solid games, bro, they get me real bad. 3 in particular. So 3 is the one that, oh yeah, that's the first game that comes to mind when I think about games that make me cry. It's Metal Gear Solid 3. The big boss, oh my god, dude, the fight in the flower fields. There's, like, it's literally, I'm scared to go back to it because I don't want to go through those emotions again. I have not gone through and replayed Metal Gear Solid 3 in its entirety ever since the first time. A little of that is because the controls aren't so hot anymore. A little because I'm waiting for Delta to come out. And a little that I don't want to cry like that again. I'm 31 years old and I don't have the time for that shit no more. I don't want to cry like that. But holy fuck, man. That freaking game, dude. That bond, that relationship between Big Boss, you and Snake and shit. Oh my goodness. See, I'm hazy on it because I haven't played it since 2008, 2009 or something like that. And like, Oh my goodness, bro. I sobbed like a baby so badly. You and her in that flower field, man. And I don't know how long I sat on that screen. You know what I'm talking about when you got to pull that trigger. And you just sit there, and I was just dying over there. I don't want to do it. No, don't make me do it. And then I did it. You have to do it. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to go through that emotional wreck again. Hopefully now with 15 or so years of emotional, let's call it experience, maybe I won't cry like a big old baby this time around for Metal Gear Solid 3. But holy crap, I can't wait for that fucking game. And that's all the games that I got. That's all I want. There's definitely some more games that have drawn emotions out of me. But let me know what games get the emotions out of you. It doesn't have to be sad. You don't have to be a big old Debbie Downer. You can be happy about it. Talk about games that make you super happy. Talk about a game that you're happy to rise up and game. I mean, this didn't really make me, this was more of a sad addiction, but I was so addicted to Halo 3. I would wake up and I wasn't, when you're a teenager, you wake up, you're not awake yet. I was in that groggy state. I was playing Halo, and there was one time I woke up and I was just playing Halo. I'm like, what the fuck? I think I have a problem here. But that was a good time. That was a good time to love a game that much that I was playing it basically asleep. So those are fine memories too. And I mean, hold on. Let me talk about one more time. The day I finally got Rock Band. Oh, baby. I waited so long to get Rock Band. I waited. Friends were buying Guitar Hero and people were playing Guitar Hero and having a blast. And I'm just like, but Rock Band's coming. Rock Band's coming. It's got drums. That's all I cared about. I've always wanted to be a drummer. I've always wanted a drum set. Never been able to own one. And for some reason, my family was like, you can have the Rock Band. I'm like, I can have that? And oh my God. So when I finally got that damn thing, bro, I was over the moon. It was like, I'll throw in another memory after this one, but it was like Christmas for me. It felt as magical as Christmas. I didn't get it on Christmas. I know that. I think I got it for my birthday. It doesn't matter. But I remember filming myself, opening the damn thing, even though I had a camera that didn't even record audio. I remember watching it back and I'm like, man, you could just look how happy I am. I'm so happy. And I'm just opening it up and I'm like, oh, here's the microphone. Oh, the drumsticks. And like, oh, it was a magical day to finally get that big fucking Rock Band box and open that bitch up. And I would be mad at myself if I didn't shout out my grandma and the legendary 2007 Christmas where she went so all out for no reason. This woman worked at Walmart, y'all. She was a Walmart worker. Prior to that, she was a crossing guard, so she never had money, but she always did everything she could and more to make me happy, especially on Christmas. And she fucking blew the doors off of me in 2007. The whole time she was like, don't expect much. Meanwhile, she bought me a 360 and with other members of the family got me like the legendary 7 games to kick me off on the Xbox 360. We're talking Halo 3, Call of Duty 4, BioShock, Mass Effect, games that shaped me in that era, man. Like, those games are some of my all-time favorite video games. We got Assassin's Creed in there. We got, what other games was in that legendary 7? Doesn't matter, man. It doesn't freaking matter. I will always cherish that moment. Every time I see my grandma, whenever I send her a Christmas card, birthday card, I'm always like, that fucking Christmas, Grandma, you went over the limit. You went crazy. She's probably still paying off that Christmas. You know what I'm saying? She did it again when the PlayStation 4 came out. She bought me a PS4 like the month it came out of nowhere for my birthday. And, this is just another shout out to my amazing grandmother. I love her so fucking much. And she's the best. She's always the best. And if you have a grandma, a parent, a sister, sibling, anyone that gifted you something that made you feel over the moon happiness, I gifted myself a PS5 and that was one of the greatest days of my fucking life. Like, oh my God, I remember that. I went to Best Buy to buy printer ink and I came out with a PS5 right in the middle of it's impossible to find a PS5 anywhere. And I walked in, I was like, yo, man, you got a PS5 by chance? And he's like, brother, come with me. And I was like, my heart sank. My everything. I was just like, are you kidding me? And he pulled out a PS5. He's like, we just got it in. And oh my goodness. And I remember I pulled over. I had to pull over my car, and I had a little moment, parked the car in the middle of a fucking middle of nowhere, and I just screamed. I was just so happy to finally get it. So yeah, man, hit me with those emotions too. There's great emotions as well, but specifically, tell me how much of a little bitch you are, and tell me what games made you cry, you little bitch. And hit me with great memories, sad memories, just memories that made you emotional playing video games. Hit me with your memories and all that great stuff. That was something. That was really fun. I love those moments where I just, boom, the light goes off. I'm like, oh, here's a great idea. I don't even know. The great idea is going over the top. It's been done a million times, but I was like, yay, I have an episode idea and I know what I want to do. Other than that, you were going to have my hardest video games was going to be the episode. So that'll be another day. So we'll talk about the hardest video games that I played. But this time, since it's fucking Valentine's Day, emotions are everywhere. We talked about some games that made me hit the feels, you know what I'm saying? So that was fun. That was a good time. Hopefully y'all had a good time listening, watching, whatever you do. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening / watching. You the best. You want to be even more the best. Make sure you're reviewing the podcast, share it around with a few, of your friends. Why not an enemy? Throw an enemy in there. Everyone's got an enemy. Share a podcast with them. Maybe they'll become your friend. And, I upload all these episodes to the YouTube channel, GamerGX Videos. Links are in the description. Great place to drop a comment on the videos. I got a question about video games, wrestling, hockey, anything like that, throw them here. Anything else, I'll try, but I'm no expert in anything by any means, but send in your questions. Let me know about your great memories, sad memories, gaming, all that shit. And there's a Twitter page I don't use, but all those links are in the description. And stick around. What do we got going on? Well, we got a pretty big weekend going on for wrestling. There's a couple pay-per-views, I believe, going on, so I'll have some pay-per-view reviews out there for you. A wrestling recap for WWE and AEW will be out as well, so be on the lookout for those. In terms of the GamerCast next week, I could very well be doing the hardest games. That list is complete. It's ready to go, and could be doing that unless Sifu makes me do an episode on it alone. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted. There's going to be a hockey cast this week. The Four Nations tournament just kicked off, and it's pretty fucking good. So we'll talk about that and some other shit on the hockey cast this week. So make sure you're sticking around, subscribe, follow, do whatever you got to do. You the best, and thank you one more time, and we'll be back again with some GX Plus Cast.